Sí ha servido tener un cargador extra en la extensión. Yo me la traje. Hola, pues.
No, Fernando.
Sí, claro, como tiene entradas. Oye, ven.
Pues ya estamos listos para que tomen ¿Dónde se? Sí, la recomendación nada más es las más altas. No va a tocar la luz.
Gracias. Well, overall, everyone to this roundtable of technology for sustainability. To begin, we would like to introduce our ground speakers. Beginning with Dr. Liliana Carrera, who is a researcher at Center for Research and Assistance in Technology and Design at the State of Jalisco. She has 8 years of experience working in biotechnology and has worked on projects related to sustainability, such as bioethanol production from lignocellulose residues, energy crops, and the production of other materials used in biofuel development. Secondly, we have Dr. Erika Bustos, who has a PhD in electrochemistry from CIETEC, as well as Master in Chemical Sciences, with a specialty in electrochemistry from the University of Guadalajara. Her work in electrochemistry with water, soil, and air is changing the cleaning and recycling systems here in Kerala. Thirdly, Dr. Jose Luis Vasquez, who has a PhD in biotechnology from the Universidad Autónoma Metropolitana, Iztapalapa, and has done postdoctoral work at the Centro de Investigaciones de Tecnología y Diseño del Estado de Jalisco. His research focuses on soil and water bioremediation, the use of biosurfactants and bioemulsifiers, and the sustainable utilization of agricultural residues. He has published multiple articles in reputable journals advancing knowledge in these fields. Last but not least, Dr. Francisco Javier Rodríguez Varales. He has his PhD in Chemical Sciences from the University of Guanajuato and is currently working as a principal researcher at the CIETEC, as well as development of natural fuel cells as alternative for water treatment and energy generations, as well as waste valorization and treatment under the circular economy concept. So yeah, this is our introduction for our speakers, and we are going to talk about a little overview of this roundtable. Maybe we can start by actually giving an applause to welcome our speakers. So the focus of this discussion is modern day technology used for sustainability. Sustainability has become more of a concern in recent years due to the climate change crisis. How to lead a sustainable lifestyle is one of the most debated topics among people of varying disciplines. The topic is essential in science, as it is those in STEM who study the drastic changes that climate change causes. It is us who use our knowledge, experience, and skills to develop new and more suitable technology to fit our world without damaging it. Today, with each of these professionals, who have studied sustainability extensively in their respective fields, we hope to gather more insight into the topic which affects us all and learn from their experiences to continue to make a more sustainable world. To give a brief explanation of the discussion's structure, we will begin with a few introductory questions, move to more controversial ones, and we'll end with gaining insight into our experts' particular fields. So today, just to start us off, we'd like you guys to give, in your words, what is technology and sustainability?
Well, I think is any kind of innovation that address economic, environmental, even social challenges, meanwhile, while keep for minimizing any negative outcome. The goal is to keep the thing sustainable, which is not only solving or creating solutions for immediate problems, but also to contribute to a long-term sustainability, and meanwhile also contribute for the well-being for both people and planet.
Well, technology in general is the use of the knowledge to solve specific problems. So the combination between sustainability and technology, sustainability is about the protection of the planet. So the technologies for sustainability are those technologies that help it to protect the environment to conserve the planet.
Well, as I explained in the morning, it's important to have different technologies, but now evolving that way, transforming resource of different resources. Because we need to construct maybe in the wastewater treatment or the soil or earth, but using that less resources to develop a new technology. In some years before, we have in mind the recycling. And now we want to integrate the different elements in the earth, because we have only one earth. We can move to other planet. That's why it's important to incorporate the different processes and the different. That's the most important in the sustainability.
Well, to me, technology is the visualization of the science advances to make our life more comfortable. And sustainability is just keeping producing, having all that lovely stuff that we have, but with the less damage to the earth and to the environment.
Well, when we hear about sustainability, it's followed by a remark about new technologies and that are coming out to improve our sustainability. You know what you have said, and also in your experience in the career, what are some of the most promising advances in sustainable technology in Mexico, in Latin America, and globally?
Sustainable advances in, wow. Well, from my area, from my expertise, one of them are the biofuel development in our country. Sadly, it's just almost nothing. But for example, in Brazil, they use bioethanol as a fuel. In USA, also Canada, but in Mexico, we have a little problem about it because remember, it's about energy, and energy needs money, and money is a problem. So that's not a very good best and a very good future for biofuels. But for example, the residue management, separate the residues between organic and inorganic and all that stuff that we have that we can recycle. That's fine. In batteries, clean batteries, but we need to push very hard in science and technology to move there.
In my opinion about that is, well, in Mexico, it's difficult maybe to incorporate different technologies of the other countries. But now maybe you know that now is a city, and we incorporate the word humanity. So for all the researchers and all the technicians, we need to develop technology with reduce space or reduce the resources. And that's how we incorporate and develop some something to be better the technology. One of the example is to use in the case of modified surfaces, the waste, right? And we reduce the energy consumption. And maybe other idea is we need to work with different specialists to have the best option to optimize the different processes, and in consequence we reduce the cost. Maybe it's the best for Mexico actually. We are reducing different areas, as you know, and this is one idea. My opinion.
Okay. According technology, there are several examples. Of course, for example, the use of microwave cells. This is the best one. That's very attractive because it converts the organic matter or the organic contaminants to electricity. But this is just one example. For example, we can produce green hydrogen using the excess of the energy produced in a solar farm, and then use a chemical cell to produce hydrogen. or also, it's very common research about biodegrade products that biodegrades in the invisibly way in the behavior, in the environment. So I feel that there are some examples about technology that it is friendly with the environment.
I agree with all the videos. The thing that I can add is, well, I can also do a little more examples if when it comes to bioemulsifiers and biosurfactants and other technologies, but all those technologies are quite the same things in common. For our perspective, I presume that will be much more like an academic side, research side. But the other thing in Mexico, well, in Mexico, Latin America, but specifically in Mexico, we have new technology, at least for seed projects, secretary. But what also we have maybe not that developed in Mexico is that work in conjunction with industry. Because from our perspective, I can tell you that bioemulsifiers are very good when it comes to oil bioremediation. You can use waste from cafeteria and canteens, like using waste cooking oil, in my experience. Biosurfactants and bioemulsifiers are very good for that thing. But when it comes to apply that technology in real life or to sell that technology, that part is where we have a problem. So there are a lot of technology also in Mexico, Latin America, and Brazil, and also around the world. We have a lot of technologies going on, a lot of new regulations, but I think in general, from a global perspective, we still have issues when it comes to translate that technology to the industrial or scaling that sort of technology to be applied, the so-called real world. That's my idea. So that's the thing.
I think Joseph said it is difficult to fit together the actual tech and its applications. And actually, in recent years, we've been hearing more about focusing on economic and social stability. So, which are both focusing on like the governmental change and the social aspects. How does this focusing on those two differ from from your professionals in STEM side of wanting to focus on the tech? And can those two perspectives, do you think they can work seamlessly together and how?
Maybe I'm not less experienced on that thing where it's about convince people with money, people with money to invest in these ideas. So we cannot tell, or in order to create that combination, we have to sell that idea that is something that's not only good and green, friendly for everyone, but we also have to convince that they will have an outcome, a positive outcome when it comes to capital. But that thing together, marketing part with the social concerns plus the academic or basic theoretical research all together, we combine all those together, we can have new technologies, but also we can find funding to apply those technologies. I'm not sure, or I'm not aware of one of those initiatives that's going on right now. Besides Conexión, is it like a private initiative?
Not so common.
There's not much, I think, but there are some companies, I hope.
The transnational.
National. That is good, but bad when it comes because we want Mexico to grow economically. So we prefer Mexican companies to work on that instead as nationals, but probably still very hard topic to deal with because the transnational are not bad, but also they are not that good when it comes to Mexican economy. But if we want that combination when it comes to social economy or social sustainably to have technology, sustainable technology for everyone, not only in Mexico, we should get to an agreement, not only for nationals or Mexican companies. Also, the government should be more prone to allow nationals to work with Mexican searches, maybe. But we know nowadays that it's not precisely the case.
No, talking about the technologies, we're talking about the mature of technology. We need such level, we need to take the technology to the level 7 or 8 in the Turing scale. To think about the transfer of the technology, and it requires a lot of resources. For us, it is easy to do basic research most of the time, because anyway, we can do anything in the lab. With the battery of the technology requires funds, and in Mexico, for example, CONACYT offer grants in most of the cases between TRL 1 to 3, 4 to do basic and applied research with the resources to make an innovation. There are not so much options. I feel that we can look for private funds, but it is not easy. The ecosystem in Mexico, the innovation ecosystem in Mexico is not the best. There are not so much opportunities about getting private funds, and there is a problem because we know maybe we have the ideas, we don't have the funds to obtain this knowledge.
Well, in order of my experience, because we are working with that topic, we want to integrate a STEM career and to interact with the society. In Mexico, we develop different experiments and new concepts in the laboratory, but we are developing pilot systems, and we want to take that technology, Mexican technology, and we are competitive. Now I can tell you that different processes that are competitive from Mexico to other technologies. How the society take that idea? Well, we need to have some practice. We search some population to prove our systems. That's my view on how we integrate the STEM careers to the design. In other cases, we buy some technology of other countries, and we have different fixes in the machine and incorporate and have a new machine with a concept Mexican idea. So just now we are, that's why there is a number of posters. We want to develop Mexican technology, incorporate that, especially in the STEM career. This is my concept that we are working.
Well, we represent the STEM people, and we are working in our lab. We are trying to solve problems, social problems. Maybe you hear about health, food, environment, and health for everyone. And we, as STEM people, we have to work on that. We have to find solutions about these problems. But most of the time, we don't ask the people about these problems. Non-STEM people is just one side and we are in the other side. We have to build a bridge to connect one with others and then work together to find the solution of our problems. Because at least, finally, we are people, all other people. And for example, in Jalisco, in the center where I'm working now, we work with tequila companies, because tequila is producing an odor of tequila of Jalisco. And the producers came with us and asked us for solutions about the plant, the process, the fermentation, the distillation, and we work with them, but they have money. But many people, for example, small producers, they don't have money, and we have to work with them too. But this is not happening. And there are some organizations that try to put us together, and well, in that meeting says, yes, we can do that, we can do this, we can go all together, let's go. And then everyone go to his place and it's over. So maybe as same people, we have to open our mind to sit with them and listen. And they, as non-STEM people, they have to talk with us, tell us the truth, and cooperate to find the solution of family problems that we have. That's how it is.
So as everyone was saying, there's like a consideration in the consequences of this absence of sustainable technologies. But as we have continued the conversation, this concrete idea that we made around innovation, economic feasibility, and in social responsibility more often when you arrive here. We have everyone that is in STEM and non-STEM fields have to contribute. And for that, we have to have this balance in all of these three fields. So, for our next question, what are your reasons for balancing innovation with economic feasibility and social responsibility?
Well, this is a Ooh. No, the technology can solve alone. This is really no. We need to think, what are we doing with our planet? You know, for example, think, what did you eat today? Vegetables, meat, poultry, yeah, rice. Do you know how much water needs rice to grow? Yeah. No? Do you know that poultry industries are the most contaminated in the world? No? So technology is not going to solve everything. We need to try to cooperate with this. Technology can maybe provide technology, provide technology to create a better chicken species that maybe not contaminate that much. Maybe we can invent a new rice that doesn't need that much water. But if we as a society don't take that, if we're gonna stop a little bit and think about all these stuff, technology is not going to save us. Okay, so no, technology is not enough, and no, we need to think about what are we doing, work together, and use in a better way the technology. That's my opinion.
My opinion is, yeah, we, the persons who develop the different projects related with the same topics, we have the open mind. we have more interaction with other specialists. And the best, in my opinion, is to communicate. Because sometimes maybe the people who work in mathematics, they have a model, a solution of some problem with a model. And the engineers, they develop only the laboratory and integrate the different species. And he has or she has the animals. But with the modeling, the mathematical model can construct a better technology. And that's the idea of that innovation. To be in the frontier of knowledge and produce new concepts, to produce new technology, and with integration of the different ideas. That's the interesting of the STEM careers or STEM careers, because involve the difference, the woman, the man, and integrate the difference here. Only in that way we construct an innovation. Result the programs, well, it's the same, maybe in the local problems we can resolve. But if we want to resolve the problems in Mexico, maybe more in integration of the different specialists. But maybe we obtain some opinion to go with our government and maybe to make other relation with other countries or integrate and way. It's only that I suggest that we can do.
Well, there are some comments. I feel that to solve the biggest problems in Mexico, we really don't need new technologies. We just need resources, money, and to do that, we don't need to create new technology. And also sustainability is not only the technology. This is the culture, this is the habits of the people. For example, I would like to ask you, have you heard about the circular economy concept? Anyone of you? It will be very important in the future. So, because according with this concept, this is a change in the mindset in such way that that this concept will change the consumption and production models according with this sustainability. That is a change in the mindset, a proposal that changed the consumption model from a linear model where you produce, consume, and throw away the waste, change this model to a circular model where ideally there is no wastes. We use all the byproducts anyway, but the idea is not to produce waste. So we need the technology, of course. In fact, I feel that this ideal concept of circular economy, there are so many technologies that can be created or developed. In fact, I think that there will be a lot of work to do to obtain this circularity to use all those materials. So I think that there are some other aspects such as education and culture, habits. So
I could add to your ideas. Well, I strongly agree that I was trying to recall this term, a term. Not recall, but it's basically, well, the idea is, for that term is that, I don't recall, but the idea is when we try to solve everything right away using sustainable technology without solving the root of it. That is a tendency that, okay, there's a lot of air pollution, let's use electrical cars without thinking further what is the footprint, the carbon footprint of that technology. So that is not actually sustainable technology. So without working with those experts in social science, how people receive those ideas for the STEM people that we pursue. We are STEM people that don't understand fully, or even people could be afraid of our ideas if we're not presenting the right way. So without that combination of social science and also the exact science, we we can now have a solution. So technology by itself is not only a solution or enough, also could be a problem trying to solve everything just using technology. It's impossible, and also would be a problem. It's risky. So we cannot let technology to try to solve everything. That is risky. We have to involve everyone, all the science, all the people that working in other kind of fields. So that's my idea. So technology is not enough, but also trying to use only technology, it could be dangerous.
Exactly as you were saying, the common sustainable technologies that people normally think about, so the electric vehicles and the solar panels, they usually have these hidden costs. So they require large amounts of lithium and copper, which has an environmental impact, not to mention a social one. How often do green technologies, have you guys found, have these hidden costs? And do you think their benefits outweigh those costs?
Well, for my side, I would like to talk all the positive things relating to bioemulsifier, for example, is wonderful because you can add value to those waste, oil waste, and other things. But there are some hidden costs when it comes to those secondary metabolites because it's expensive to scale it higher level even because the hidden cost there would be, well, how much energy you actually need to consume to purify that bioemulsifier or to have a proper carbon source. Because the idea on paper to clean something is wonderful, it says. But this hidden cost will be the money that you have to invest to actually perform research to characterize the chemical characterization to use those molecules and be sure that it's safe with the environment and so on. And the typical one, the common one is that thing with batteries. Yeah, batteries, they don't generate air pollution, but you have to extract metals or rare metals from other places. Those other technologies related to absorbing contaminant using waste like lithium kind of things. So, but how much land you really need, or how much of that lithium or real material I usually use for food, you will need now to produce your new molecule or your new technology. That's the hidden that we usually don't tell the people that kind of info. I don't know. Think of other things like hidden cost behind that. Because I recall your talk, I think it's those ceramic vessels that are very cheap, but I think that it's surrounding the bag is not that cheap.
Okay, well, I feel that we must take care of the great technologies because we see only the surface. For example, in the case of the I think that the representative technology in these days is the use of electrical vehicles. But the vehicles needs batteries, and the batteries needs lithium, and the lithium must be extracted from soil. And the lithium mining is a process that is very contaminant. So I think that we need to see a concept, a holistic vision. And another example, in the case of the solar panels, that's great. We can obtain energy from the sun. When the life of the panel ends, there's a problem because we have a waste. So what we were going to do with this waste? So we need to see all the concept and the consequences of a specific proposal.
Okay, well, thank you for the question, because I like a lot the green technology. I'm an environmental engineer, and now I develop the environmental electrical. But the situation is, which is the green technology. It's, yeah, what we need to pay attention with precaution, because just as they comment, we may, I have a car with a reduction of carbon dioxide, but all the pieces that produce different species of oil made from China, and in China, the people, they have a lot of pollution, even water, air, and soil, because they produce different circuits, electrical circuits. And in the other countries use the car with a reduction of carbon dioxide. So here in this concept, is important to have in mind the circular economy. That's the idea. But we verify which is how produce H pieces of that car to verify if this is reduce the pollution. Because only we observe, yes, I have this car. But if we evaluate and verify the cost, economical, and the environment, maybe it's more expensive, it's dangerous for the planet. I suggest, and this is my main idea, and I want to comment to you. You are younger, looking in the future. We are focused. Maybe in some years we retire.
Thank you.
But the future is up here. And you need to think, verify which is the green technology. You need to verify how to reduce the waste and incorporate the minimum of the different elements to impact with minimum consequence to the planet. Because it's only one planet.
Okay, I don't want to scare you, but the answer is yes. Green technology and environmental costs. From my experience, I was working to produce bioethanol. But the first step to produce it is a pretreatment. The pretreatment is part of the process to break the lignin, and we use acids as sulfuric, chlorine, and phosphoric acid, for example. Or maybe some alkali products or some peroxides. Well, they are very contaminated. Then we have to put this in a great bioreactor that use electricity, use energy. We put some yeast, maybe bacteria, to produce bioethanol. Then we have to recover all that, separate the yeast and the bacteria, and then distillate in order to get bioethanol. Bioethanol is around 99% ethanol, less than 1% of water to use in the car. So you can imagine all the process, and all the process is very contaminated. So we have to solve all that things before to say it's a green technology. Okay. Actually, I'm working with enzyme production. So in order to make it greener, we have to use residues, agro-industrial residues. Okay, what kind of residue? Maybe sugarcane bagasse or agave bagasse. Great. And then what have to do in order to produce enzymes with this? Well, let's do a pretreatment. Okay, a pretreatment with what? With acid. Okay, so it's not as linear as we can see. So I agree, we have to see all the process. One of the problems with bioethanol is that bioethanol has to be sustainable, green, clean, environmental friendly. But you can produce, for example, in Querétaro, we can produce bioethanol with sugarcane, because you don't have sugarcane in Querétaro, so you have to I don't know, go to Veracruz or Jalisco or Michoacán to bring those sugarcane bags. And then how with a truck, with alcohol or diesel, and then give it to them. So please think in all the process that involve agri technology. And agri technology, it's difficult to say yes, it's agri technology. We don't contaminate, and the energy that we produce is more than the energy that we consume. I guess you know what is a biorefinery, or maybe you just hear about our biorefinery, the name? No? Yes? Well, a biorefinery is just a oil refinery, which they receive the sugarcane bagasse on these crops to produce bioenergy, but the biorefinery has to produce more energy that they consume. And to sell energy, to keep the biorefinery working, and don't contaminate much more than the process that originally is doing in an oil refinery. So yeah, it's a high cost that you have to think about.
Well, as all of you were mentioning, now we are going to also into your topics for when technologies happen. And for them, we're going to ask you, what, in your opinion, are the things or your specifically research has contributed to sustainable efforts?
Okay. Well, now I have to like, because I already say that I use acids and all that stuff, but no. Now I am going to, we are to try not to use that kind of chemical substances, compounds, for example, acids. We are trying to use enzymes instead of acid, for example, to get treatment. We have to talk with our co-workers, for example. Person who is working also with bioethanol. Well, the crop that she was using is a plant, we call it falso girasol. You can see all the rows, they have a yellow flower, and say, let's do it, let's use it. Nobody is using it. Okay. And I asked her, and you are going to take your card and collect all the plants in all the row to produce bioethanol? No, this is not a brilliant idea. So we are trying to think, the process, to make the process more sustainable with this kind of efforts, In Jalisco, we are working with tequila bagasse, agave bagasse, because it's just around the corner. Also with berry residues from strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, some other berry, I don't remember now. With milk residues and all the pencils that we have just in our state, because we don't have to travel around the country to work with that. Use less energy, trying to keep our process shorter. Don't use the bioreactors as 10 days or a month. Working maybe with for solid state fermentation. I don't know if everybody knows about, but this kind of fermentation, we don't use water, a lot of water. For example, for a bioreactor, it's just like a glass of water, and then you use the bacteria, yeast, but in a solid state fermentation, you will just have a tray, or we maybe bagasse, maybe some other things, less water, and the microorganisms. So we don't use that much water. And we can do all that. That's all.
Well, in my case, as I commented before, we develop different processes to reduce waste, to modify chemicals, and to promote different levels of reaction to improve the removal efficiency in the treatment of water, soil, and soil. Well, we incorporate this process to increase the removal efficiency, to reduce the cost, and with the system more portable, and to take very easy the process and go to the different places, in the clinic, to the population, or directly in the field. This is one of the idea to integrate the different elements of the environment and to reduce the cost, the energy, or in the use of water. This is in general how I work with that.
Well, that's why I had chosen to work with the NPC because I think that it's a very friendly proposal. We use biological processes that occurs in nature in a specific container, but this process occurs in the environment, so it is not aggressive. And I feel that we also obtain a new we obtain water, clean water, as a result of the process. This is a new raw material and also produce energy. For me, it is the ideal case. This is the best case of a clean technology because at least I haven't found yet pollution problem with this concept. That's why for me it's very interesting to work on NPCs.
Well, in my case, well, the last thing that I worked on was related to Dr. Leona's group, working with agave bagasse. And well, I use acids and also those other technologies. Well, the thing we don't want to scare you when it comes to green technologies are not bad, green technologies are good, but you have to be aware that green technologies, when it comes to green technologies, we have to think about the concept of circular economy. Okay. In my case, using those residuals, using acid treatments and microwave, using another technologies that require a lot of energy, but the idea there is to optimize the process to make those technologies, apply those technologies in a greener way, so less energy to treat those wastes and to add value to that waste to be used for other maybe industries such as antioxidants, such isolating other kinds of phenolics or other compounds that are useful for maybe in health industry and for other production when it comes to Jalisco industry to instead of just let the waste to be there and contaminate and remove the systems, try to use them again to add a value to those waste. But also we work with the raspberry, blueberry, extracting antioxidants using even new technologies to extract them, using as less solvent as possible, or resources as possible to isolate them, to extract those chemicals. I think the idea is that to optimize, not to demonize or to say that all technologies or current technologies are bad. We should optimize them, or make a better use of current technologies. More aware, have more awareness about when it comes to the outcomes that are related to the society, not only about technology. Again, that's in the other question. We tend to work a lot on research, and maybe we tend to forget about what would be the impact in society. I think that's the idea. When it comes to, at least my idea when it comes to doing my research or the ideas that I would like to work on, but also taking into account what would be the effect society by.
So speaking both technologically and societally, what are the most urgent actions that we need to take in the next decade, especially when it comes to the need for Mexico to balance both economic growth and biodiversity protection?
When it comes to take care of biodiversity. What's the question?
So what do you think are the most urgent actions that we need to take or that Mexico needs to take in general? Taking into account that it still needs to grow economically and we still need to protect our biodiversity.
That's very hard. What would be the origin? I don't know which one we could put at the top of the things that we could take. Okay. Sure. From my side, I think is to work together with government or those in charge to take care of which species enter to an ecosystem and involve them when it comes to using new technology, because for me it would be very interesting to use this new strain that capable to overexpress this protein that can solve one environmental problem. But also we have to, and in Mexico, we have organizations that regulate that thing. If you are using this kind of new species, you cannot just apply that thing. I don't know if that is urgent, but I think it's very important to regulate the way that we apply the technology on the environment when it comes to biodiversity and other issues related to. But I think there's more issues. I don't know if is that even the most important, because that is what from the side of the government. But there are many other from the side of research centers. What could you add?
Well, for me, there are so many major issues, but I think that the most important it's education. That's because pollution is about generation of contaminants, but at the end, we are contaminated. At the end, the people is the ones that contaminate. We're accustomed to say, that company contaminates. That the company or that facility contaminates. But then the products that sell that company are the products that they consume. And at the end, I'm the consumer, and so I'm part of the pollution. So, for example, I could ask, do you know how many liters of water is required to produce a pair of jeans? No? It is required about 10,000 liters per each one pair of jeans. And how many liters of water is it required to produce a laptop? It requires about 40,000 liters to produce this product. Anything you consume, the breakfast, the orange juice, the laptop, the chair, all the products consume water. So that's the importance, the value of the circular economy concept, because at the end I feel that this is something like human rights. I feel at the end we need to think about, it's a crazy idea, but I feel that it must be this way. We need to feel about the planet rights. We are accustomed to do anything we want, but there is a limit. Whereas there is a limit that we are passing.
Another question is maybe like this kind of forum. We need to interchange ideas to show our results. And we don't know the future, maybe somebody up here, you will be a president or Mexico, and you have this information. The education is important, but additionally it's important that information that we develop and go to the population. And the most important is integrate this community and to have that information, which is the different functions, how many you use it, or the different ideas. And in the history, we know, if we review the different countries, if the people have information and learn about the history, the idea is they won't repeat the same situation. So to arrive to a public politics, to go to the government, it's important to have a connection, a network. So I suggest that it's good to have this kind of activity to incorporate other people or the government people and to involve in the public.
And I agree with this, my friends, and the education, how to write information, the real information. It's very important. For Mexico, I think the most urgent to solve is the water problem, as all the world, because we cannot live without water. And education and information is a very good start to save water, to keep our water clean, and from STEM or from research part, work with make the process cleaner, to treat the water, I don't know, to rescue the water, I don't know how to say it. For example, Dr. Aizkat work with water, management of water. We are working with Vinazas. Vinazas is part of the tequila process, a routine of the tequila process. Who likes tequila here? Nobody? And well, yes, we are not out. We love tequila. We have a hard life, and that's completely understandable. But 1 bottle of tequila produces 12 liters of vinaza. Vinaza is a brown liquor with a lot of organic compounds, and it's very contaminated. And we are working to treat this vinaza and use it to reuse this to use as to grow plants, tomato, lettuce, chili maybe, and grass. So we have to push very hard on that, and I did that because we need water to produce food, we need water to drink, we need water to regulatory. So for me, it's the most urgent thing.
Throughout this talk, you all have covered Mexico's issues and solutions when discussing technology for the community. Now, for closing our discussion, we want you to take or give us a key message as students, probably future researchers, or only general public of what key message do you want to take all of us from this discussion?
Okay. My message is just learn, have the right information. Please think about what are you doing with with our planet. Think what are you eating. If you are a consumer, we all are consumers of everything, of clothes or shoes, laptops, mobile phones, food. So just before you buy all this, think how many water, how many energy, and how many environmental damage it causes that is. As Dr. Jose Luis said, green technologies is a very good solution, but we have to keep working on that to make it very good, really green. So via responsible consumers, learn in school, learn out of school, take the message and give this message to other people. Okay, so one of the things that I don't know if it's an advantage as persons we are studying or we study a career, it's that we have more information than of the other people, so try to educate other people with all that we say.
In my case, my major message is be happy. Any selection that you take in your career, in your life, it's what I recommend to my students and for you, be happy. If you are here, I suggest that you like to learn. So only you verify just the information that you obtain because your generation, the information, but there are different information, maybe all information is not true. You select your information and construct new ideas and networking. Because this is important to increase the knowledge in Mexico and produce more technology and in the innovation. Learn of the experience of other persons, maybe like us, and use all the information to collect.
Well, other measures, I just would like to say that it is necessary to think that to be awareness, to be conscious that we are part of the problem. That at the end I consume the products and I decide if I buy some product or some other. For example, in my case, I have 2 years with my cell phone, and now since maybe 1 year, the cell phone company called me and offered me a new cell phone. I say I really don't need a new cell phone. It works well. So at the end, it's my decision if I buy this product or not. And also, Mexico, it is very important education because, for example, separation of waste, it's not a difficult issue. It's relatively easy, but we are not accustomed to do that. So I think that we're waiting what the government says, that the government will implement some strategies, but at the end there are some economical or political aspect that limit the decision, the decision of the government. And then I think that we can do what we can do at my personal life, in my house, in my family, in my neighborhood. I think that it's important to do that.
Yeah, I strongly agree. Awareness, be aware that the action that our behavior as consumers has consequences, and learn, take your time to learn how we can hinder those consequences, bad consequences, but always in good spirit, being happy. So be happy, have some tequila, outside campus.
Thank you guys very much for joining us today. Thank you, audience, and please give a big round of applause. To the round table and the end of day 3 of STEM week. We hope to see you all tomorrow for our talks. Thank you guys very much.
We do have one more event. Yes.
Apologize, I forgot about that one.
Yes. So, following up, we have the informal meeting on the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. So I've been told it's a very important meeting again, for all of you looking at a career in science, for the female population looking at a career in science, also in this group with some of our professors, and that's the next event. Starting at 6. No, 6:30.